will submit to me, you will take the guise I have given you.
Never. Curse the human corpus, and curse the human consciousness you've given me. Far happier was I as naught but a carefree cat.
Ours was happiness once, and can be again. Why would you resist such promise?
Because you are no longer a woman worthy of love. It may be your brother's doing, but you are a ghoul beyond redemption. This entire forest is nothing but your abattoir, and it sickens me.
Perhaps you are meant to be my redemption. Submit to me and all this horror will vanish.
Save your breath, Cassandra. I'll not be swayed by your lies.
What do I spy? Remarkable. A living, breathing something, it seems. You dare to approach me here, mortal? Don't you know who I am? Don't you know what I do? The sister of the king, of course. The phantom of the woods, of course. The mother of all corpses, of course. The ruler of the dead. It is self-evident. I am Cassandra, queen of the Phantom Forest. And you have come where you are not welcome. The only king, Brachus Rex. He rules all of Rivellon, and I, his double, rule too. For a time, at least. We were forged together by our very souls, and all that was his was mine, and all that was mine his. But it's no wonder you haven't heard of me. He's gouged me from history, one statue, one tablet, one scroll at a time. But make no mistake, I live. Strange, isn't it? How a love greater than the gods themselves can tear you from time. But time matters little to me anymore. No, it floats past me unfelt as light upon a blind eye. To hide his weakness, to conceal his greatest misdeed. My brother was a kind ruler before he became a rabid tyrant, but his descent into madness was swift. Power he gained, and with it a terrible fear of death that hounded him ceaselessly night and day. He stationed 100 guards outside his bedchamber and mine, but still he kept awake all night, expecting assassins. He soon determined that he must diminish his risk. I, his sister, forged to his soul, was his greatest liability. My death would spell his, and so he sought to break the bond between us. My brother is a clever sort. Once he sets his mind to a task, it's good as done. Brachus discovered that while we lived, the forge could not be broken. But this did not deter him, no. For Brachus, there are only temporary difficulties. And so he turned me into an immortal creature. Living, yes, but wedded to death. A lich, destined to roam, ever half alive among the world of the living. We were lost to one another. We who had walked hand in hand through all of life. We who shared each thought, each trial with perfect understanding between us. I was cast out and aside. And Brachus, empowered by his new freedom, went on to rule. But I've never forgotten his betrayal. No, I've spent centuries searching, seeking, until the perfect solution appeared before me. How better to have guaranteed my brother hated his own cold, cruel heart than to make him feel my torment. I discovered how to restore our soul forge, and I determined to bind our souls once more. The torment of the never-arriving grave would have haunted him as it haunts me. The pain his betrayal caused me would have been his to savor. But in the end, my brother found a worse fate than any I could have devised. Source King that he was, Brachus was stricken down not once, but twice. First deposed, then resurrected, then defeated once more. I can think of no finer torture for that proud madman than to come to the cusp of glory, only to be cast back down for all time. Is that so? You, a frail mortal, laid low the eternal crown of Brachus Rex? How sinfully inglorious. Yes, how humiliating for the so-called Lord of Chaos to find himself run through by a slave to age and order. I do believe thanks are in order. To show my gratitude, I will allow you to roam my woods at your own discretion. This is no mean feat that I swear to tolerate the stench of your living flesh, mortal. Take it as a tremendous honor. He is so much more than a friend. He is my soul torn from me, reflecting back in passion. From humble beginnings came he, until I crafted out of him the want I felt in my existence. Ahu was mine to make, and Ahu is mine to have. A love as great as this, it shall not be denied. Is that so? And how might I weigh the debt of a mortal? Could you do more for me than, say, a boar, a wolf? Does your kind not serve me best when the lovely blush of rot swells along your delicate hide? Still, I do suppose we could come to an agreement. Ahu, the one I love, is reluctant to admit that he loves me too. He clings to the past like a fading old man. So I desire to drive him from denial into acceptance. He is a stubborn one, though, that pussycat. And he has mastered the magic I once filled him with better than I had foreseen. That is why I need an ingredient even he cannot resist. An ingredient called Stasis Fern. There is a spirit in this forest called Shiera, who is known to possess like rarities. Alas, she seems to have quite vanished. It's simple, really. Find her, obtain the Stasis Fern, and the spell you desire shall be yours. It is an anomaly. A plant that is said to have grown in another realm altogether than Rivellon. The first garden, a place of myth and miracle. There, so the spirits of this forest told me, it bloomed and delighted with its fragrance no more. Yet taken from the first garden and brought here, it took on source-like particularities. Its magic is one of permanence. A magic as eternal as the world from whence it came, and with it, what I want will be mine. Ahu, my lover forever. Obviously, but that would be a disaster now, wouldn't it? A disaster of such proportions that I'd have to vent my rage on your innards. You were always the only one, Ahu. I need you back, and I shall have you back. Centuries I've seen devoid of a single instance of affection.
I wonder why. Everything you touch dies. Everything you behold withers. You are the Queen of Death, and your rule is one of bloody obliteration.
I am what I was made, my pet. Why judge me by laws that do not pertain to my nature? And you too are what you were made. So accept.
Feline is my nature, not human. I'll not allow you to defile my being any further. Source Hunter, how glad I am to see you. Tread carefully. Weigh your every word. Cassandra has become more devious than I ever dared dream. You hit the nail on the head, Hunter. That is exactly what Cassandra wants to do. Kill the part of me that is cat, and claim for herself that which is human. No! I cannot bear it. I cannot. I am a cat, and always was. I remember my many siblings. My mother giving us suckle, licking me clean with a gentle purr. Yes, I remember the freedom of a pre-conscious existence. That is who I am, not a man. For what is it that humanity has given me? Nothing but suffering. Nothing but hurt and heartbreak. So stop her, Hunter. For the love of the Seven, stop Cassandra. To be human for all time is a fate worse to me than death. All too well. Even in my human guise, I'd have gone quite as white as I am now at the mere mention of that otherworldly wonder. Stasis Fern. In Cassandra's hands, an instrument of ultimate torture. Ambrosia in my own. She'd use it to consolidate my human form everlastingly. You cannot let her have it at any cost. But should you find it, Hunter, please bring it to me instead. With Stasis Fern, that ultimate catnip, I can become the being I most desire to be. A cat once more and forever. Careful, friend, for it'll be your death, not hers. She boasts that the magic she weaves makes her immortal, and I don't doubt the might of her sorcery. Nevertheless, where there is source hunters follow. Perhaps there may be a weakness in her fortifications still. This forest teems with wretched souls. They may know things we know not.
Fukuxo, Ektel Tiridos, Tuxco, Taitaimbad, Hugu, Tugaxot, Titain, Jagyo, Tuxio, Fukor, Rilfas, Ord. Is that not who you are? We Titans are an ancient race, Guardian. There are certain things we are beginning to remember. Cassandra, hers is a tragic tale. She was once the Lady of the Realm, the much beloved sister of Brachus Rex. Soul forged were they, and they shared a bond unmatched among mortals. But as Brachus's power grew, so did the distance between him and his sister. He began to see her no longer as an extension of himself, but as a liability. If she were to die, Brachus would be dragged into the afterlife alongside her. The powerful king couldn't stand the thought. There is no breaking a forge of souls, but there are ways, terrible ways, to dance around them. Brachus, an accomplished sorcerer in his own right, decided that he would sever himself from Cassandra at any cost. And so he transformed her into a lich, half-living and half-dead. Unable to die, she no longer threatened him. But hers was a cursed life. She sought death like a moth seeks the flame, worshipped it, as her one and only idol. She fled to these forests, where she could find a kind of solitude in which to mourn her fate. Here she clutches death about her like a shroud, and any fool enough to approach her is invited to share her fate. A lick is a lick, Guardian. Burn its bones, and it becomes vulnerable. The difficulty rests in finding those bones, for their location is the Lich's best-kept secret. Her body rests in the Temple of the Dead, where only corpses can enter. Well hidden are her bones, but the careful seeker will surely find them.
Leandra is a few steps ahead of us yet. I think we can safely guess it was she who used this path and broke the mirror behind her. We'll have to take the hard way through the temple.
What lies ahead is sure to be treacherous. We may not make it out alive.
Nonsense! There's nothing we can't overcome now. Nothing in all of Rivellon.
Tremendous power approaches. Yes, a seed of the divine has been planted among mortals, and the sprout bends toward the light by which it sprang. What do you seek, O seed of the divine? Ah, great one, your ascension is not yet complete. Enter you may, and enter you shall, but first you must remember, the fragments of your mind and soul are still in disarray. Collect them, arrange them, and then you will be ready for what lies beyond. Your journey may yet take you deep within the corners and castles of Rivellon's greatest secrets. But if you succeed, all will be made clear.
The Temple of Death welcomes only its likeness.
but more than that, it's a trap.
On the man. Unending darkness. I needed that. Into the fray once more.
Hold!
Careful.
Our enemies have
spotted
laid
a
a trap.
I've spotted something. Cassandra's bones! Once they're ash, she'll be vulnerable once more.
Will you do the honors, or shall I?
Burnt, and Cassandra is made vulnerable.
Time to cleanse this phantom forest of the Lich that haunts it.
You were always the only one, Ahu. I need you back, and I shall have you back.
How she leers at me. I can read the depths of madness in her eyes.
I'm not myself. Stay away from me! Don't you come closer! What have you done? What have you done to me, you wretched insect? I am queen of this forest. You cannot come into my home and bind the abyss! What have you done to me? Stay away now. Don't you come closer to me now. The king will have your head for this. Brachus Rex will not tolerate such treatment of his sister, his twin. Stay away, do you hear?
Sigurd's grace! Daggers drawn. Weakening wound!
Liquid courage! Time for you to slow down.
The Lich is dead, and we could still obtain the stasis fern for Ahu.
We'll have to talk to a certain forest spirit for that.
Treasure!
Please, Hunter, free me from this accursed cage! Cassandra. She is no more. The woman who gave me a new soul. The woman I loved. The sweet girl once ruined by her demonic brother. I know, though it pains me still. All I can do is remind myself that the true Cassandra died the day Brachus took her down into his dungeons. Still, to remind oneself is easy. To accept is not. But let not my torn heart belittle your triumph, Hunter. The Lich is no more, and these woods will wake from a nightmare spun over centuries. I thank you for freeing me and freeing Phantom Forest. Now please, let me return to the shelter plain and gather my thoughts. It has been a long, tough day.
This has been for Ahu.
Finally, it has come to an end, if a bittersweet one.